Okay, hello everyone. So, I just finished having dinner after watching the direct. I'm a couple of hours late because when the direct went live, I was at work, and honestly, I really don't want to talk about this direct, but I've been doing it for a year, so who's gonna stop me now? But anyway, the direct for September 12th, 2025, I believe, possibly the last non-game focused direct, the last general direct of 2025, unless they're gonna drop like a surprise one in November, but I doubt it. Uh, yeah, so we begin with shilling out the 40th anniversary of Mario, to which this took almost 20 minutes. This segment took almost 20 minutes. And it's basically all the stuff related to the first, real first thing they talked about is all the stuff that Nintendo was doing to promote the 40th anniversary of Mario, including sponsoring the Kyoto Marathon and the reveal of the title of the sequel of the Mario movie, which is called the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So we can at least know that we should. It's pretty much guaranteed that Rosalina is gonna be there, and speaking of the characters, they also confirmed in the same segment that everybody is returning. So Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Jack Black as Bowser, Key as Toad, and Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. But they only said that these characters didn't say anything about other additional characters, so I guess we're gonna learn them later on. And also sticking with the theme of Mario Galaxy, we're gonna get a collection, a game bundle that's gonna include Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and of course Three Amiibos attached to them. And amazing enough, it's not timed. This was not timed like the 3D collection that Galaxy 64, and I remember the other one. I think it was 3D World. No, this is a game they're going to release permanently, or at least until they decided to remove it because fuck you, I guess. But no, it's not timed. You can buy it, and you can buy it all the time. You can buy it anytime you want. So yeah, this is actually kind of surprising, and they ended the segment by us revealing the Rosalina's diary. They made a real life Rosalina diary, and they're going to sell it. I'm going to assume this is going to be the limited time object, but who knows. Then continuing on with the Mario stuff, it was announced they announced the Mario Tennis Fever, which is of course Mario Tennis, so we're not gonna talk about it all much, other than apparently they decided to add a story mode for this game. So yeah. Then we got Mario Wonder for Switch 2 with a new world that is all dedicated to minigames, to which I wrote in my notes multiplayer only, because yeah, I think that stuff is multiplayer only from what I saw, but I don't know. And of course a talking flower. Of course, reference to the talking flower that was doing the announcing during the segment of the stream. I have no idea what that is. I think it's just what a noise box. Definitely not an alarm. It's probably just a noise box where you press the button and say something. And then we conclude the stuff of Mario with a new Yoshi game called Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. And honestly, that actually looks kind of charming. But yeah, that's all for the Mario stuff. As we said, it took 20 minutes. And now let's get on with the real stuff. And we begin right off pretty badly with Stormlancers, which is a roguelike, which I immediately stopped caring. I wrote in my notes, roguelike, skip, next. Then we got Dinkum, which is, for its purposes, actually doesn't know its purposes, it's basically Animal Crossing, but Australian. So, I'm going to imagine a lot of memes with a lot of profanities are going to be made with this game. Then we got Popucom, which is a completely only multiplayer only game, to which Yeah, that's kind of surprising for a Nintendo game. Let's hope that the netcode on Switch 2 is a little bit better than Switch 1, because I'm pretty sure this is just Switch 2 exclusive, but I don't remember. Then we got the release date for Tomodachi Life Living the Dream, which is spring 2026. Yeah, they couldn't get a precise date. They just said spring 2026, and that's basically it. Then we got Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which is pretty cool. And then something that actually caught me by surprise: Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII Remake plus the Uni side Uni. Oh shit! I'm too fucking Xenoblade Chronicles pilled. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a Gen Z word you're never gonna hear me say again. What I meant was Yuffie, not Uni. Yuffie, the story of Yuffie, which was pretty cool. I did play it and it was pretty cool. Then we got Linked Banner of the Spark, which is a roguelite, but still a hardscape for me. Yeah, now realizing this video is a complete fucking mess, but I apologize. Work was pretty hard today, and this was a really disappointing stream. So yeah, and then of course we got the another trailer for Hades 2, to which I am a couple of days old. When I found out that Hades is apparently the first one is apparently an easy game, even by roguelike standards. It's really, really easy. From what a guy on a Discord server told me, to which, okay, the first thing that I asked them was, did they nerf it or something? Because I remember it was really, really hard, but turns out it wasn't. So I guess that begs the question: how the fuck did it almost won Game of the Year if it was easy? But that's just me bobbing bullshit. But anyway, next up we got amiibos for Kirby Air Ride, which are Kirby and Ben 10D, plus a second direct dedicated to Kirby Air Ride. So, I mean, judging from the reaction of the first direct for Kirby Air Ride, it was a banger. So maybe this is gonna be as well. Then we got a gameplay footage of Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment, which is the game set during Tears of the Kingdom that involves Zelda going back in time. The game that virtually everybody forgot because they said because they announced that said absolutely nothing, and now they're talking about it again. But yeah, I guess the only thing I can say about this game, because I really don't care about Hyrule Warriors, which is weird because I played both Fire Emblem Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors Free Hopes, which is basically the exact same thing but with Fire Emblem. I guess this should be the dream. I guess should be the dream come true of every people that wanted to see Tears of the Kingdom Zelda, Breath of the Wild Zelda, being able to play another badass. But there was like the Hyrule Warriors game, Age of Calamity, that also did that, so I guess more badass Zelda. Yeah. Then we got Dragon 7 Quest Reimagined, the remake of Dragon Quest 7, to which, by God, that art style is fucking hideous. Jesus Christ, that looks awful. I mean, who fucking approved of that? That looks like, that really, really looks bad. That chibi style does not work in the slightest at all. At this point, just make it fucking 2D sprites. I mean, just do something like DQ1 and DQ2. Just don't do this thing because it's really bad. But anyway, then we got stuff about the Nintendo News app, and something that I'm pretty sure nobody expected coming. Nintendo giving a shit about the Virtual Boy. Yes, the Virtual Boy. The thing that could put Nintendo's biggest failure before the Wii U. The thing that was so bad that Nintendo pretty much cancelled it from the whole history is now back. Not only with games, but they also went through the effort of recreating a Virtual Boy, like the actual visor. You can open it up and put the screen above the Switch in the Switch too, and that is actually amazing. Wow, that is possibly that was probably the highlight of the direct. Honestly, that is insane. Then we got the remake of Fatal Frame 2, to which I'll be honest, I actually know a little bit about Fatal Frame 2 because I watched a playthrough of Markiplier way back when. So yeah. Then we got Switch 2 versions of One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Speaking of Museos, we're gonna have another one later on. Overcooked 2, Stardew Valley, sorry, and Human Fall Flat. That was basically it. Then we follow up with Power Wash Simulator 2. Yeah, it's basically it's more of the same for Power Wash Simulator 2. So nothing much to talk about. Same thing for Suka Game Planet. And then we got the bike trailer for Metroid Prime 4, and I guess the fact that the game is going to be open world, and apparently, actually, I'll be honest, I have no idea if this was announced already, but yeah, Metroid Prime 4 is apparently going to be open world, and they have to make the bike, which is called Viola, by the way, VI-O-LA. So yeah, I mean, also for the record, I know it's kind of stupid, but the beginning of the trailer, the place they showed at the start of the trailer, generally looked like High Charity from Halo. I mean, again, Metroid Prime 4 feels so much like Halo that is ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But actually, no, it's not. Let's drop the maybe. It is just me. But yeah. Metroid Prime 4 feels so much like Halo, it's actually ridiculous. But yeah, then we got DLCs for Donkey Kong Bonanza, DK Island, which is basically a help world, and Emerald Rush, which is something that you do after the game is done. It's basically like those two things are just fuck around modes. Then we got Pokemon Pokotopia, which is, I guess, like a factory game. But with Ditto, but with the protagonist being Ditto. To which I know somebody's gonna ask some questions, like for example, why use Ditto instead of actual human being? But 100% fair, Ditto is meant to be the Pokemon that can replicate everything, right? And it's not like we've seen Ditto replicate humans. I mean, look at the Pokemon movie, the Detective Pikachu movie. That happened. So I guess. It was good a time as any. If anything, it's actually a surprise that they didn't do it in a game until now. But then again, this is Pokemon, and they take a long time to do things, and sometimes they don't even do them at all. So, I guess that's not a surprise. But yeah. And speaking of Pokemon, we got a trailer for some of the Mega Evolved forms that were announced previously, like Dragonite was one of them. Then we got Greninja, one of them. For Pokemon Legends ZNA, and of course they had to announce that the fact that this game is going to have DLCs, and the game is not even out. So yeah, this just reeks of this game was rushed to hell, and the DLC just serves to potentially fix what looks to be increasingly more like a shit show. But yeah, and of course. Two, I would assume, Mega Evolved forms for Raichu. Or, I think it was Raichu, but yeah. Then we got Danganronpa 2, or actually, it's Danganronpa 2, what was it again? Danganronpa 2, I'm gonna call it 2x2, because I don't remember what the announcer said. And basically, it's Danganronpa 2, so if you played it, you know what it's all about. But apparently, now there's gonna be an alternate story, which... yeah, who knows what's going to be all about. Then we got Dynasty Warriors Origins, speaking of Museos, and they already said there's going to be a DLC, so yeah. Then we got Monster Hunter Stories 3, to which, in all fairness, I just skipped the trailer because I was doing something else at the time. So, yeah. And we're almost at the end of this, so actually, for being like an hour-long direct, we're almost at 50. Someone managed to do like an hour long direct in almost 15 minutes. But anyway, next up is a quickfire list. The quickfire list is the how I like to call the portion of the direct where they show many games back to back to back. pretty quickly. And we got, in this case, 2 Point Museum, Gaia 7, EAFC 26, DQ1 and DQ1 and 2 remake, 2D HD remake, whatever the fuck the name is. Then we got Witcher Fighter 5, Lego Voyagers, which I completely forgot the game existed. I'm pretty sure, actually, wasn't Lego Voyagers announced at the Game Awards? Because I don't think I have heard anything about this game except the announcement at the Game Awards. Unless I've been mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I haven't heard anything about Lego Voyagers ever since it was announced at the Game Awards. Because yeah, I haven't seen or heard anything about it ever since the Game Awards. But yeah, then we got Little Nightmares 3, and then we end up with the quick fire list with Persona 3 Reload. And now we got the last two games of the franchise. The last two games of the Direct, and we start off with another trailer for Resident Evil 9 Requiem. So yeah, this is the power of Switch 2, ladies and gentlemen. Plus gold editions for Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, which makes sense. And then the final game in this Direct. The thing that effectively killed this Direct for me. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. How can I say this? This thing is, for its purposes, 3 houses free. Because same engine that Koei Tecmo used, so Koei Tecmo is definitely involved in this thing. Same character designer, same graphics, maybe a little bit better, but who knows. Same exact, it's the same battalion. I think it was the battalion thing that was new. I don't remember there was a gameplay function from 3 houses, and of course the end of the trailer that showed grown-up Sophis, and a character that honestly looks like Rhea Aceros. So, and of course there's another character that wields what looks to be a relic weapon. So. Yeah, for fantasy purposes, this is 3 houses free. Potentially a prequel. Now, I've seen a lot of people say sequel, but I want to say it's a prequel because of the serious-looking character. But also, I'm pretty sure she's voiced by Shirami Lee. Sophis is definitely voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris, so at least she's back. But the serious characters, but the serious-looking chick definitely looks like... It sounds like she was voiced by... what's the name again? By Shirami Lee. And yeah, at this point, I tend to joke in Discord servers that people hated Engage because they wanted more free houses, but apparently Nintendo and NIS took that seriously because. This is, as I said, it's 3 houses free. It's basically 3 houses free, so they did listen to the complainers. So, there we go. 6 more years of discourse, ladies and gentlemen. 6 more years of discourse. This thing is never going to end unless we get a remake. And at this point, the remake cannot come soon enough. If it's going to be Awakening, if it's going to be Binding Blade, if it's gonna be Blazing Blade, FE7, if it's gonna be Genealogy, I don't fucking care. Just dump a remake. Give me a game that I could actually dump my money on the Switch 2. But yeah, that was a very, very salty ending to the video. But yeah, as a Direct, it was kind of meh. And of course, the fact that we got 3 houses free is the thing that just dropped it into the stratosphere. But yeah, unfortunately, the numbers have spoken. 3 houses is the biggest game in the franchise in terms of virtual everything. So I can only just cope and see, I guess. That's another 2 Gen Z terms that you're very likely never going to hear me saying again. But yeah, this was the September 12th Direct. And see you in the next video, I guess.